Well, there's some really interesting differences in terms of small to larger merchants that have a big impact on how we do the underwriting. Fundamentally, the biggest difference, though, is about the data that's available to do the underwriting. With a larger or established merchant, you can use things like the Dun & Bradstreet or Experian Business data reports for business, and those provide, in many cases, a real rich environment for analyzing your data. For a smaller merchant, though, and some of these are accidental merchants almost, where you're looking at someone who might be doing a craft fair or something like that, there is no business data available for the merchant. And so for those smaller merchants, we're forced to use consumer information on the principles of that business. Now, in the middle, you actually often will end up doing a mix. For example, you might pull a Dun & Bradstreet report, find that there isn't a lot of depth, although there may be some data, and then actually dig in with the consumer report on the principles to get a richer set of information for that. So it's really a mix of information that's used. Now, the process is going to be similar regardless in terms of pulling the data, doing the analytics, looking for the types of risks and concerns that we're going to deal with. However, one thing that's interesting to note is that monitoring is really critical across the board for any size of merchant, but especially for the small ones where things can churn on a dime. You know, if they're a print shop and they suddenly get overrun with orders, it's unfortunately not as uncommon as we wish that the print shop might just throw up their hands and walk away. So it's really important to have that ongoing monitoring, and that can be driven by the type of data that we're collecting.